Oh, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when this finds you. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everything's going good for you. I'm gonna take a little break from Christianity right now, but that doesn't mean I'm through with it at all because I got a lot more stuff I'm gonna share. Like I said in a prior video, my objective was to never go in studying and researching Christianity to denounce it. But it just so happened, as I continue to study, I have to denounce it because we've been misled and lied to for centuries. And I'll get into some of that stuff in another video. And but I'm gonna just talk about politics for a minute because we're heading up to the 2024 national presidential election. And I'll be honest with you, I don't feel good about either side, which is why I've stopped participating in the voting process altogether. I was raised to vote for Democrats by my parents, and then I got around some business-minded men and women who voted largely Republican. I started voting Republican because I started seeing some things that were different than what the Democrats were doing and what the Democrats were supposedly offering. And so I started voting Republican. Then I just got disgusted with them as well. And so I started voting independent, even though I knew independents weren't going to get the press that the two major parties were getting. But it was just my way of saying, hey, I'm disgusted with, the crap on the left and the crap on the right. And then after voting independent, then I started writing myself in for different positions. And so when you get to that point, well, for me anyway, it's time to step back and evaluate the whole system because we've been playing musical chairs for centuries with politicians, with presidents, with Congress people, with council people, with senators. And it's amazing that we keep playing these musical chairs and everything's still getting progressively worse. I mean, the only way you're gonna fix this system is you got to have a mass vote out of everybody on both sides at one time in one election. That's the only way you're going to change this system. You're not going to change it by voting in one here, one there, one here, one there, because what we're watching on both sides is those small voices keep getting ignored. Because both sides ignore the Constitution. Both sides agree to continue to go into war. Both sides agree on increased spending. Both sides get richer while in office. Both sides gain more power. Both sides enrich their friends. Both sides always agree on pharmaceuticals. Both sides ignore us. Both sides crap on us. Both sides support the 1948 people. Both sides are corrupt. Both sides violate your rights. Both sides ignore your privacy. Both sides are silent on CBDCs. Both sides blame the other side. Now, for me, I blame both sides. Just like politicians play as a team regardless of which political label they wear, we need to separate from these two major parties and create us a team. And then we need to get rid of all of them like I just stated. Sadly, most people are so indoctrinated and loyal to the tribe that they can never fathom something as radical as an idea like that. Democratic voters, Republicans are not your enemy. Republican voters, Democrats are not your enemy. Everybody, both major parties are of the system are your enemies. Your black politicians are too afraid to rise up against the system, so they play right along with destroying their own people. Your black politicians are overseers for master. Where are the great majority of your black politicians members? I guess let's say, why are the great majority of your black politicians members of the slave party? But regardless of which party is in charge, we get threatened every year with a government shutdown if the debt limit is not increased. We keep electing people that can't manage money, but this same system gives us credit scores if we can't manage money. But they go to vote to increase their debt with no repercussions on the decisions they make. But we don't have that same luxury as people in this country to go and beg and beg and beg and have the power to increase our debt load every year, knowing we never have to pay it back. But they can do it. And I think right now they're talking about June 1st shutdown if they don't reach an agreement. We keep getting threatened with cuts in services. We get threatened with job losses and everything else. Both political parties protect big companies who put things in our water, our food, and our air, and on and on and on. Why are you seeing, if you've been harmed by, the chemical for your lungs, call this number. They allow that. Now you're seeing a lot of people are taking lawsuits toward the harm that's been caused over the last 3 years. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Who allowed that? Politicians protect the largest food growers in this country who are putting all kind of chemicals that are destructive to humans in their products. Y'all do need to realize that the biggest food product, and I can't even call it food product company, comes from a family who was very big in the transatlantic slave trade out of Louisiana. Their name starts with an M. Politicians protect Big Pharma from any liability for the damage they cause through their products. What you need to understand is one of the reasons medications are priced the way they are is because in the cost of each medication, there's a small fee that's added. And that percentage goes into a fund in case Big Pharma loses a lawsuit. So Big Pharma never pays for lawsuits if they lose. It comes from money that we've put into the system. We, the consumers of these products are the ones who are paying for our own lawsuits. If that makes sense to you. That fee is a large fee. I mean, just look at the price of pharmaceuticals in this country alone. I've read something not too long ago. It said I forgot what percentage of the world's population we make up, but they say we consume 72% of all of the world's pharmaceuticals. That's sick. We living longer, but we're paying a price for it. And so an attorney actually told me and my wife here in Texas that legislators put mechanisms in place to limit what a patient can recoup in a lawsuit in case of medical malpractice. He said it doesn't matter how many different doctors damage you, there is a cap on financial damages to you should you win. He said legislators down in the state cap will remove all protections for patients in the state. Politicians have put things in place so that if law enforcement abuses you or violates your rights and they lose in a lawsuit, the city pays the financial damages out of taxpayer money. So once again, we paying for our own judgments. They need to start taking those funds from the police retirement fund. Now, I believe then and on then, we'll start seeing some changes in that system. But I digress. The system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. And the faster we recognize that, the better off I think we'll be. But just to show you how stupid politicians think you are, the Democrats have put Jim Crow Joe up again to run in 2024. Now, if you haven't felt the slap in your face after all these years, this is the time you need to wake up. You know, they are literally telling you that they have crap for a candidate and they don't care what you think about it because they know whatever piece of crap they put up to run, folks, especially black folks, gonna vote for that crap. Jim Crow Joe still hasn't met with Ice Cube, but his vice president, Kamala Harris, could go to Africa and offer them millions of dollars if they accept a homosexual agenda. And you know, Jimmy probably gonna come out and tell black folks some BS story again, and you know, just like idiots, we'll go and punch the ballot for him again. You know, I remember a while back I posted a picture of him with former Klan leader Robert Byrd on social media, and a social media giant flagged me saying there is no evidence that Robert Byrd was a Klan leader. You know, how do you determine who's telling the truth? The one who is trying to shut up the other person is the one who's lying. You know, did I say vote for the opposition? You didn't hear me say that at all. You know, I don't have a good feeling about the two front runners on the Republican side either. You see, the first thing that comes out of the mouth of a black person is when you say something about Democrats, so you saying, you know, I should vote Republican? You know, I didn't say that either. However, you've been voting for Democrats since 1964, and you ain't got no return for your vote yet. If you don't feel good about voting for Republicans, do like me and stay at home. But we've been voting for Democrats for 59 years, and we have nothing to show for that loyalty. I mean, well, we got a lot of black politicians, but did I say we got nothing? I mean, did I say we got nothing? We got nothing for that loyalty. Because black politicians ain't done nothing for us. They enriching themselves as well. So it's a waste of time dealing with them too. And so, you know, I like to call them black Democrat managers. Because they managing black folks of the Democratic Party for the slave masters. Y'all don't even realize it yet. You know, you got a separatist class of blacks for the system. You got a whole bunch of Sambos for the system. You got a whole lot of representatives of Uncle Ruckus for the system. Every Republican politician I have ever reached out to, doesn't matter what level they were in, be it state senator, governor, anybody, somebody in their office has always responded to my concerns. Not one Democrat ever has. Not my council person, the current one or the previous one. Not my congressman, not my state senator. How long would you hit your head against a brick wall before you decided that it hurt? That's what you're doing when you keep voting for Democrats every election cycle. You keep beating your head against a brick wall. And I guess it doesn't hurt yet. You know, a few years back, a childhood friend posted on social media that maybe it was time to look into other candidates. And the first comments these Negroes posted, is this person a Democrat? You know, on the television sitcom Martin that used to come on, that was a word they used for cold. Well, a phrase they used for cold. And say, Cole, you stupid. You know, name me one black thing. One black thing. I guess I could say black thing. But name me one thing that Democrats have done for black people since the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. And even then, they didn't even make the Voting Rights Act permanent. It has to be renewed every 25 or 30 years. You know, I don't remember it off the top of my head. But at any given moment, your right as a black person to vote can be stripped from you again. I mean, you didn't know that, did you? And what you need to ask yourself is, who stripped you of your voting rights? Well, stripped our ancestors of the right to vote the first time. Democrats. Who made your current voting right conditional? Democrats. So tell me again how the Republicans are our oppressors? In the book of Sirach, one of the books they took out of the Bible. Chapter 3, verse 26. It says, a stubborn mind will be afflicted at the end. So that's the end of it. And see, no, the Republicans aren't any better. Both major parties are represented by animals that leave big piles of crap wherever they go.